Ever scroll through your feed and wonder if you need a science degree just to shop for moisturizer? The beauty industry has gotten really good at selling words like clean, pure, medical grade, non-toxic, and that's why The Ordinary's new campaign, the periodic Fable, literally stopped my scroll. It's a genius call out of beauty marketing that's long overdue, and I'm here for it. Hey queens, welcome back to my channel. This is your spot for beauty made simple. My name is Amy. I am a beauty educator, a makeup artist, and by day I am in the corporate world in the tech space. So yes, I'm a techie nerd. I like to blend a little bit of science with sparkle. This is your home if you're a woman over 50 who's ready for real talk about beauty products and tools that are marketed to us as anti-aging, because quite frankly, around here, we are not anti-aging. We are pro-aging, and we celebrate the confidence, the curiosity, and the glow that comes with experience. So the whole clean beauty thing really, I don't know, it just annoys me, right? Because there's no rules or regulations around what is considered clean. So here's what The Ordinary got right, and I love that they did this. This really speaks to me. Instead of a periodic table of real elements, say for example, oxygen or zinc, what they did was they created one filled with beauty industry buzzwords like miracle, clean, youth. And it's very clever, but it's also kind of sobering when you think about it, because we've been seeing these same words for decades. Here's what they nailed. Transparency. They are calling out how confusing marketing has become. They promote simplicity, right? They are proving you don't need jargon to be effective. And empowerment. Basically, they are handing the magnifying glass back to us as consumers to really take a hard look at what's happening in the industry and the way we are being marketed to. So let's talk about a few of the elements in the periodic Fable and what they really mean. So for example, the word clean, right? Sounds safe. At least that's what we would think to the average consumer. But clean is not a regulated term. It means different things to every brand. Everything is a chemical. Even water is a chemical. And what we want are safe, effective ingredients, not fear-mongering. Medical grade. This one really gets me, right? It's supposed to sound trustworthy, but it has no legal definition. Unless there's real clinical testing behind it, it's a marketing just as medicine term. And I'm going to get into in another video as part of this series, we're going to talk all about the different ways products are tested and how to make the best determination. Anti-aging, I hate that term. I've told you guys I hate that term so many times. Let's retire it, shall we? Because aging is not a flaw. It is a privilege. And focus on pro-aging. What can we do to have the best skin we're in? Because our skin is the largest organ in our body, and if we take care of it, it will take care of us. And then natural. Sounds wholesome, but remember, poison ivy is natural. I'm not about to put poison ivy on my skin. Safety comes from formulation, not origin. And when you think about clean, natural, organic products, if it were truly that kind of product and had like no preservatives, no chemicals in it at all, you'd have to store it in your fridge and it would last maybe a day or two, just like food. Now, let's talk about something else that's also feeding this confusion, because I will admit I got sucked in. Beauty rating apps like Yuka and organizations like the EWG, they can be helpful starting points. However, here's the problem. Their scoring systems are flawed. They are oversimplified. They are biased. And for example, Yuka might flag an ingredient as risky just by scanning the label because it sounds synthetic. But what they are not taking into account is the actual concentration of the ingredient in that product or any scientific context. And the EWG, they are very well known in the industry for using outdated or incomplete studies. And they don't always account for how ingredients behave in certain formulations. So it's kind of like judging a restaurant based on one ingredient in the pantry. It just doesn't fly. And where I got sucked in is when I first saw Yuka, I thought for sure that this was legit. I downloaded the app and I started scanning everything I owned, and almost everything was dangerous. But yet it's stuff I'd been using for years and I'm healthy. So doesn't make any sense. While the tools can raise awareness, they shouldn't be used as your gospel. Use them as conversation starters. Use them as a starting point for doing your research, but don't use them as the final verdict. Science evolves, and so should our understanding as consumers of what's truly safe and effective. And I will say that over the last several years, I have seen a shift in consumer research, consumer spending, and we are actually taking the time now to look at what we're being sold, looking at ingredients, questioning things more so than we've ever done in the past. And that's of benefit to us because an educated consumer is a great consumer, and they're going to gravitate towards those products that deliver what they say they're going to deliver and don't just print a fancy statement on a label. Let's pause for a second because you're probably thinking, yeah, we've heard all this. How are we supposed to know if these so-called studies are legit? I'll be honest. I am a skincare enthusiast. I'm a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. I like to deep dive into ingredients. I like to see how things work together. And it just, for me, it fuels my curiosity. But here's a quick cheat sheet. So who did the study? Was it done in-house or was it done independently? If it was done in-house, I'm going to say, depending on the brand, some are legit, but I'm going to say take it with a grain of salt because they're trying to sell us something. Look for numbers, right? A real study will list how many people participated. Ideally, you want to see 30 or more. If it just says tested on 8 women, that's a marketing focus group. That is not science. I will tell you another creator who's been around for a long time, super popular, has a huge following. She's another one that loves to do a deep dive into different studies, into ingredients, into all kinds of things. So if you follow Chalene Johnson, I will link her channel below in the description. She is amazing when it comes to this because she's another one that likes to do deep dives like I do. I just don't have so much time on my hands to be able to really get into the nitty-gritty of some of these studies. Check how the results of the study were measured. So for example, did they use tools to measure, say, hydration or wrinkle depth? Or are they publishing a statement that says 90% said their skin felt smoother? To me, that is a perception study. It's useful, but it's not clinical proof. And if you love digging deeper, follow some cosmetic chemists. I follow several, both via podcast, Instagram, YouTube channels. They're the ones that can translate the science into English for those of us who are not in that space. Think of creators like Lab Muffin Beauty Science or the EcoWell. They can cite research, they can explain ingredients, and help spot the difference between facts and fear. Matter of fact, just to show you how nerdy I am, I actually picked up the book from Lab Muffin Beauty Science. It's Dr. Michelle Wong, called The Science of Beauty. She goes through in the book different types of products. Why am I having an allergic reaction? Should I change my skincare routine? Like, there's so much good information in here. Remember, beauty should not be confusing. And a little science literacy on our part goes a long way to knowing and having confidence when we're buying a product. At this stage in our life, our skin is evolving. We're getting dryness. We're getting sensitivity. We're getting fine lines. We're having hormonal changes. We don't need more confusion. We need clarity. We need education, and we need honesty. And that's why this campaign really spoke to me. This conversation, in my opinion, matters so much. There was another creator, and her name is Jen Love. She used to do a lot of product reviews, but she does a lot of beauty news, which I absolutely love. But She's the one that talked about this campaign. It originally piqued my interest, so of course I had to go down the rabbit hole and see what it was all about. Because pro-aging isn't about chasing youth. It's about using products that support our skin in whatever journey it's in at the moment and support it in a way that is good for us and it's good for our wallet, right? Because when you look at ingredients side by side for some of these luxury products where you could spend $200 and up for a little thing of moisturizer versus something you could potentially get at either, the drugstore or a Sephora, you want to know that what you're buying is worth your hard-earned dollars. And The Ordinary just gave us the perfect reminder. It's about science, it's about simplicity, and the fact that they can coexist together. So here's how to cut through the noise. Look beyond the label. Marketing is not science. Check for published studies or dermatologist-backed data. Simplify your routine because more isn't always better. One of the things, if you think about all the skincare that's being marketed to us, and I have an interesting story about, Korean skincare versus Japanese skincare that I'll get into in another video, but we don't necessarily need 12 steps. If 12 steps makes you happy, then go for it. I personally have lately been trying to cut back on my steps just because to me, it's product overload and you don't give your skin the time to really absorb what you need. Focus on what your skin needs now, what your skin needed a year ago, not what your skin needed during the summer. Our skin changes with the seasons as well. So for example, my skin's getting a little bit tighter right now because it's actually getting cooler here in Texas finally. But I could feel the shift in my skin. So I'm using heavier moisturizers now than what I was doing during the summer. And question the source. Whether it's an app, it's an influencer, it's an article, even if it's me. I can be wrong. I love to do research, but that doesn't necessarily mean that every piece of research that I found is valid. I can make mistakes too. So if you find a mistake that I've made, feel free to comment and let me know because I would love to correct it and find a reliable source. All right, queens, if this video helped you see beauty just a little bit differently, hit that like button and subscribe so that you do not miss my next video in the Truth About Clean Beauty series. And if you're ready to take the guesswork out of your beauty routine, head over to my website, Beauty with AS. There will be a link down below. Join my email list and grab your free 8-step skin reset. I share beauty education, product breakdowns, and beauty tech insights just for women 50 and over, and of course, fabulous. And I promise I will not spam your inbox. Until next time, my queens, we are not chasing youth. We're at that age where we're feeling confident, radiant, and comfortable in the skin we're in. No filters required.